Hello and welcome, and thank you for joining in again. My name is Peter Wolff, and today we're going to be talking about how do we develop our taste in particularly identifying flavours in coffee, because it's certainly one of the things I get asked the most about people is like, how do I train myself to become a better coffee taster? In the previous vlog, we spoke about aromas and looking at sort of some of the different strategies. Well, with this one, we're going to talk about how do we identify flavour. I guess the first most obvious thing is to become very familiar with what the language of coffee is, and particularly in regards to the new flavour lexicon. So, I mean, again, download that, have another look at it, and really start looking at what really are the key primary flavours that you can sort of identify with. So, looking at strawberry, looking at blueberries, looking at malts, looking at all the different chocolates, dark honeys, these types of things that may be familiar with, and that's a good thing, but really the thing you may be needing to look at are the areas that you're least familiar with. One of the beautiful things about the new flavour lexicon is with the instructions that come with it, you can easily download. They have created a reference set of specific products that help relate to that particular sort of flavour experience. So definitely, do yourself the favour and download that again and start looking at that. One of the things that was very interesting to me was looking at what they defined as wininess. And so obviously a product that's very familiar to us Australians as well is the Yellowtail Cabernet Sauvignon, and they sort of use this as a reference for the wininess in coffee. So it goes through all of these particular flavour attributes, and it pairs with that of a specific product. There clearly obviously will be some difficulties in getting some of these products because it's very sort of American specific, but I think generally speaking it certainly gives you a great reference to start working from. The other thing is there is another company called Flavor Dynamics. They are based also in America, and I know they have launched a range of flavourings that you add to a batch of brewed coffee, and this is to obviously replicate the specific flavour or defect that you may be experiencing in a cup of coffee. I am aware that the defect range has been released, and they are looking to release shortly an extended version of that. So definitely something to be looking out for. And I think it has a lot of benefit, because we're talking about obviously having a brewed coffee and then adding something to that. And that obviously will clearly help you identify what a particular flavour or defect there is in brewed coffee. So definitely I think looking at that. The other thing is invest time. You're going to have to invest your own personal time in just tasting lots of different foods, and particularly if they're not sort of familiar to you, because developing obviously flavour association or a palate memory is really going to be critical to becoming an effective coffee taster. And that sort of language of coffee and understanding that is something that's very, very important. Again, looking at it from a collaborative point of view, so again, if it's something you can do in your workplace with a group of people, I think it's very important, because the more people that you have around you, the more motivating it is. You learn off each other, and it makes the whole process more worthwhile. So these are some of the strategies that I would be looking to sort of adopt either at home or in your business if you're looking to sort of develop your sense of flavour appreciation. Thank you.